tell you something. Reverend Wright was no accident. Reverend Wright was providence. It was God's hand that pushed this egomaniac onto the world stage. And what we saw with Reverend Wright was the inside of Barack Obama. Make no mistake about it. You're looking and hearing the inside of Barack Obama through this man, Reverend Wright. And so we have to thank Reverend Wright for that. And I'm trying to warn you what he is. Hillary is by no means a Bolshevik. She has now become, because they're a wealthy family and she's grown up, Hillary is a mainstream liberal. Do you understand the difference between the two? I wouldn't vote for her, but she's a mainstream liberal. Barack Obama is not a mainstream liberal. Barack Obama is a retrograde Bolshevik. And now I'm going to take some calls on the Savage Nation. Dimitri, KNEW, welcome to the program. What's on your mind?
Dr. Savage, I was born and raised in Russia, and every time I listen to your show, it reminds me like 30 years ago, I would lock myself in the bathroom, let the water run, and listen to Voice of America so my neighbors wouldn't hear me. So every time I listen to your show, it reminds me of those times. You are such a wonderful person, and it's a shame that a lot of people don't realize that you're coming to work every single day, taking those battles, and you're not doing this for yourself, you're doing it for the country, you're doing it for American people, and they just don't realize how wonderful you are. I want
to go back to the story you just told. You're saying when you were living in the Soviet Union, when you listened to the Voice of America, naturally it was illegal and you could be arrested for listening to it. You ran the water in the bath so your neighbors wouldn't hear you listening to the Voice of America. That's what you said, correct?
So they would not report me to authorities that I'm doing such an illegal thing. And
Dimitri, do you know that there are people who listen to this show and have neighbors call the police? Do you know if they listen to this show at work, their supervisors come over like little Soviet martinets and tell them to turn the show off? Do you realize this show is the most censored radio talk show in America?
Let them do it. Let them do it. Let them know that there are people like yourself and people like myself that immigrated to this country 30 years ago to the United States of America, but not to the United States of illegal immigrants. That's all I can say.
God bless you. Thanks for the call. I listened yesterday. I did a piece on immigration. It came out of me. And I'm going to play it for you when we come back because it's so good. But it wound up on YouTube, and I listened to it. I didn't know it was so good. Now I'm going to play it for you today for a reason. Someone who listened to that outtake on my take on what illegal immigration is doing to this country said to me, what you said is amazing. And it's funny, she said to me, that pornography is more widely disseminated and pornography is more widely accepted than is the stark, utter reality of what you say on your show every day. I said, I know that. I know that these frauds, these Lysenkos in the media, these inauthentic journalists who pose as journalists would rather have a girl, exhibiting herself by switching her legs around too many times, or even a pornographer himself, than a truth-sayer on their show, because they don't work in that medium. And you may say, well, I have bitterness, so be it, what do I care, I'm a human being. Some of my favorite foods have bitterness in them. I like garlic. I like many foods that have bitterness in them. It doesn't mean the entire food is bitter. It means there is bitterness in them. I don't like sweet foods, and I don't sound too sweet. I don't eat sweets. Give me a headache. Headaches will kill you faster than fats. Sweets will kill you faster than fats. Facts. In fact, sugar is the number one cause of disease in the United States of America and in the Western world, according to everything I know. The single biggest causation of all degenerative diseases is not fat, but sugar. One day I'll give you a whole discourse on it. I didn't want to talk about nutrition today. But I did want to talk about the difference between what you think is real and what is real. And so I've done it. And so now it's Friday, and many of you just want to hear rock and roll music and be left alone with this long lecture. But I drifted into it without meaning so. It's because I woke up today and I realized how far gone we are in this country with regard to what we had as freedom. How many of you think that we're not living in a sort of mini-Soviet state? You know that if you go to work and you work at any corporation and you say what you actually think about any topic, whether it be Obama or Reverend Wright, or about any other topic, welfare, affirmative action, reparations, you name it, you'll be told that you're going to be dismissed, or you'll be given diversity training, which is the equivalent of a re-education camp. You're telling me that you're a free man? You're telling me that it's the America of your fathers? You're telling me this is the America that your father gave over to you as a baton? No, it's just that you haven't done as good a job as your father did in defending our freedoms. That's because you didn't stand up the way I did when they forced me to take diversity training at a corporation. I refused to listen to those perverted skunks. I was the only one in the entire room who stood up and said, I'm not listening to this lie. You're a liar and you're lying to us. I don't want to relive that. Guess what? I didn't get fired. The corporation decided never to have diversity training there. But you know what that fat, twisted, mean-faced, clipped-hair diversity trainer said to me? With a sinister, quiet voice. She said, oh, your objection is interesting, she said. It's the same thing we heard from some admirals when we gave diversity training at the U.S. Naval Academy in Annapolis. I couldn't believe what I was listening to. This was 10 years ago. These twisted communist perverts were brainwashing our military 10 years ago. They were in there poisoning the minds of our military elite, and they had to sit through this garbage, that the white man is bad, that perversion is normal, that America is evil, and etc. Do I have to give you any more than this? I don't want to give you anything more than the short postcard take on what goes on. But my point is that you're already living in a small Soviet-style world. You are being re-educated right now through diversity training. But you mark my words, if you don't stop this arc that we are on now, there will be re-education camps that people like I and you are sent to. And if you want to go to a re-education camp on a government holiday, good luck to you, because I won't go. Trust me, I won't go. I'll be in the mountains before I'll be in a re-education camp. And I hope you'll join me. I don't care what age I am. I'll be right back. Savage.